what has happened in our culture is almost all social problems have been placed at the feet of public education. We've become a full delivery system of health and human services, and we are incapable economically and personally and educationally to handle every need that comes across public schools. The tax burden of these things are enormous. Federal mandates that are passed with the wink from Congress. Yes, we're going to mandate all these special education laws, and we're going to pay for them. But they cross their fingers and they lie to us. And then we get to district meetings and we have people stand up and say, well, we can't bear the cost of these things. Well, we weren't supposed to in the first place, but we were lied to by our political leaders. And it's a problem. How can we support the learning of our children in a way that is meaningful and helpful? I think that most of us on this island would agree and want the best for our kids. And we want them to go far. And the future is uncertain. And we are looking at what should we do and what should they know, not only on this island, but nationally. And I'm not going to get into all the nuances of this morning, but I want to talk about the fact that it really does take a village to raise children. That it really does take volunteers being part of the school process. It really does take grandparents being willing to go back into kindergarten and to read to students. It really does take involvement with the church to support wherever it can public education and learning, and to supplement whatever we can in our support of it. What does that look like? I don't have a blueprint in my head this morning that I can just roll out. But I know that whatever we do as a church to support the ongoing enrichment of the lives of children is going to be critical. One of the things that we're doing during the month of June is we have agreed with the Opera House to allow them to come in and do rehearsals of Bert Dow. And they're coming in several times throughout the month when we are not here and doing that. That's a way that we can be helpful. I know that there are people who very often go into the schools and volunteer. But there is more that we can do. And I think one of the questions that I would like us to look at as we begin to think about where we want to be as a church 5 years from now is to look at what can we do to better the lives of children. What can we do to support them in their future? We have two sides of this. One is, of course, the children who need our support that are already in the system. We have those who are getting ready to go into the system. And then we have a population on this island that are not ready to enter life. They have felt as failures in the system, and they need continuing education. They need support. One of the concerns, I'm told, at the Stonington Economic Development Council has been that people need to be prepared for the workplace. So the question of teaching is not limited to the political arena. It is all of our responsibilities as human beings to look at what will it take to create a renaissance of education here on this island and in our nation. While it's great to look at the national issues, I'm concerned about the homegrown issues. What can we do here? How can we be helpful? What does it take to help our kids get across the finish line? I think within every adult there is a human desire, no matter how difficult their lives may be, they want their children to do better than they have. And so the question becomes for us, how do we create a renaissance? How do we create a love of learning? How do we create an environment where kids are not turned off into school by grade 2? The question questions are large. I'm saying this morning, teaching is a huge responsibility, but it takes a partnership between the teachers and the school and the community. It is not enough for people to just take their kids to school and say, okay, you fix them. There needs to be a strong partnership with the home. We need adults who can also, in biblical terms, stand in the gap and make up the hedge. Because some of our kids are without the kind of adult support that they need. And so that Old Testament line of standing in the gap means that we don't let anyone fall behind. We don't let anyone fail without having been given all the support that they can. Education makes a difference. I am a proud product of public education. If there was anything I enjoyed in my teenage years, and there were things I didn't, and church was one of them, I can tell you that public education was a refuge for me. And I still honor the teachers that taught me. They're important to me. Some of them are still living. Just this last Teacher Appreciation Month in May, Miss Lee got a package from me, my high school English teacher, who coached me, by the way, in public speaking. You can thank her. She got me going. She got me across the finish line to a first place award in the Stuart Boston oratory contest. Miss Lee got a package from me with a note saying, thank you for the teaching. It still sticks with me. And so it takes a partnership. And their challenges are great. We can talk until hell freezes over, proverbially speaking, about the problems of education. But I'm saying this morning, let's light some candles. Let's ask ourselves how we can become involved, because the role of the teacher and the role of the home and the role of the community is the only partnership that's going to help our kids be prepared. We do not know what students who enter kindergarten this fall are going to be doing 50 years from now on this planet. We don't know the challenges that they will face. We don't know what they're going to need to know. But we can teach them to critically think and creatively think, and to have a basic connection to human history and human knowledge, and with a solid foundation and with the love and support of the big community, they too can face their future with confidence. Amen.